Hello everybody, I am Insomniac, and today we are taking a look at Shinobi, the DLC Samurai Assassin character. And as you can see on screen, he is supposedly hard to play, mobile, and also classified as a counter-attacker. And what all of that means, of course, I'm gonna show you in this video. As always when I'm doing these types of videos, I'm taking a look at the hero's moveset first, and I'm starting with Shinobi's moves. As you can see right here, he has 4 chains, one of which is light light, another one is heavy heavy light light light, another one is heavy light, and another one is heavy heavy. Before we're going to jump into his chains, I'm first going to have to explain what archetype Shinobi is. Shinobi is an assassin, but the really special thing about him is he is the longest ranged character in the game now, outclassing Nobushi's range multiple times. Shinobi is a very new and different archetype to all the characters we had before, and that's why he is balanced in a seemingly very weird way. And because of that, his chains are really different and new as well. As you can see, heavy heavy, light light light. If there was not some specific trait behind that, then this chain would be absolutely useless. So the point is, his chains are very special, and in order to understand them fully, I would have to go over his traits first. So we're first going to take a look at Shinobi's utility moves, and oh boy, would you look at that move list. This move list is far more extensive than any of the other characters I've made a guide for, and is a lot more extensive than all of the characters that I haven't made a guide for. So Shinobi has the biggest moveset out of all of the characters as of the first DLC. First out of guard mode is tackle, which is running plus guard break, and this gives you this sliding tackle that knocks your opponent down. Now as you can see, they are knocked down for quite a short while, and it drains a little bit of their stamina. The thing is as well that this is very easily dodged, and you have quite a bit of recovery on it. But why would you do this move? This is so that you can stop your opponent in their tracks of running away and knocking them down. But why would you do that if it was only there to stop your opponent? Well, you actually get an attack from it, but we're gonna talk about confirmed damage in a little while. Then you see you have super sprint, and by the input this says sprint and then press sprint again. And the funny thing about Shinobi is that he can change between 2 different sprint types. The first one being the regular sprint type that everyone has, and the second one being his super sprint, which looks like a sprint animation straight out of Naruto. You can switch between one or the other by simply pressing the sprint button. As you can see right here, I can switch between the 2 as fast as I want, and the super sprint also costs stamina, and as you can see, it depletes it quite quickly, but you're moving at a much faster speed than anyone else in the game. And you can also get the tackle from super sprint. So yeah, that is super sprint. And now another attack move, or ability for that matter, and that is charge. So you can charge your heavy attacks. This is basically what charging your heavies does. You hold your Kusarigama back and charge it for up to 2 levels, and it charges up to the 2nd level very quickly. Now the charge levels only increase your range, and as you can see, this also costs you stamina continuously, and you can change attack direction. So that is charge, and what charge allows you to do, I'm gonna talk about in a little while. Charging your heavies is what gives you your long range attacks, which looks something like this. Now your range is absolutely insane. As you can see, that hit. So that is kind of the range that you get. This is also on the 2nd charge, and this is the 1st charge, but the 2nd one has extremely great range. Now the next move that Shinobi has is grab, and as you can see, this is by pressing guard break when you're charging your heavy attacks, which guard breaks the opponent from a range and pulls them towards you, which gives them the longest distance guard break in the entire game. What do you get off that grab? Well, you get this Sickle Rain mix-up. And just as a reference, the Sickle Rain is the heavy light light chain. Now that you know you can get the grab from a charged heavy, which guard breaks the opponent, I first have to show you the Sickle Rain chain. This is the whole chain, all of the 5 hits. This is the first heavy, and this is the second one, which pins, and those are the 3 lights. Now, you can't spam these lights, you actually have to time them, but the timing for them is not all too strict. Basically, light, light, light. But if you spam it, it won't work. So this is me spamming, and it doesn't work. So that was that chain. And now you can see Sickle Rain Mix-Up, which gives you this exact chain after successfully grabbing your opponent. So from this distance, I guard break my opponent into heavy, which pins them, light, light, light. So yeah, that's how you do the Sickle Rain Mix-Up. Then we also have charged kick mix-up. We're gonna come back to the kick mix-ups after we've looked at the traits. And for now, we're gonna continue on with the front rolling and back flipping moves that Shinobi has. So first of all, front roll and front roll kick, and then crushing front roll and backflip and crushing backflip or backflip grab. Those 6 moves are very, very useful. So Shinobi is supposed to be this long range character, but he is also supposed to have a really good close-up game as he is an assassin. And in order for Shinobi to achieve this, he needs to make use of these 6 traits right here, of the front roll and the backflip mix-ups. Now all of those mix-ups are reactable and all of them can be countered in one specific way. However, they can be hard to deal with. So first we're gonna demonstrate the front roll. After hitting a charged heavy from a range, you press dodge and you roll right next to your opponent. But this even works on whiff. So this is the regular front roll. As you can see, you can also get 2 mix-ups from that. You can get either a kick or a heavy, and those look something like this. Guard break for the kick and heavy for the crushing heavy, which is the heavy that leads into the Sickle Rain chain. We have pretty much the exact same thing after the backflip, and the backflip is the exact opposite of the front roll. I mean, obviously. But what is the opposite of your ranged attacks? Well, if I say it like this, it's pretty obvious, but after hitting either a light or a regular heavy attack, you can press dodge and you will perform a backflip like this. Now, this is the regular backflip, and as you can see here on the move list, you also have the crushing backflip and the backflip grab, which both look something like this. Backflip grab performs the grab after a backflip, and that grab again goes back into the Sickle Rain chain. But the crushing backflip allows you to immediately charge your heavies after performing the backflip, which keeps the pressure in your favor. Now to the next few traits of Shinobi, one of which is double dodge, and yes, you see this correctly. Shinobi can dodge twice in a row, and not only can he dodge twice in a row, he can also perform a kick, light or heavy attack after double dodging. So first of all, the double dodge can be performed in any direction. You go invisible but not invincible through the animation. You can even do it forward, but you can't do it backwards, as backwards will perform a roll. So you can either dodge twice in the same side direction or twice forwards, but you can even go back into forward, or you can even go left to right or right to left or something like this. Now you have to be aware that you can be grabbed through both dodges, and even though you go invisible, you're not invincible, and this takes a lot of your stamina, and conserving your stamina with Shinobi is extremely important. But yeah, you can do either a kick, light or heavy after double dodging, and all of those moves look something like this. So yeah, those are all the options he gets after double dodging. And now we have 3 traits that I will have to demonstrate versus the level 0 bot. The teleport kick, the teleport light attack, and the shadow strike. Basically, his deflect kick and his deflect light, as well as the after parry light attack. Those were already all of his moves, except for the ones that I haven't shown off just yet, which were quite a few. I haven't shown off the light chain, I haven't shown off the heavy light chain yet, and I have done that on purpose because now we're gonna switch over to the traits, which will explain all of the moves that I haven't shown so far. So first of all, we don't have to take a look at Renown and Revenge mode because, as always, they're not hero specific, so why the hell are they even there? But I digress. First thing you're gonna notice, Shinobi has a reflex guard because he is an assassin class. The thing with his reflex stance is that his disappears a lot faster than you might be used to, and this can really throw you off, as blocking is something that this class is not designed to do. I mean, just look at how long you block for. That's not even 1 second. That might be half a second. so blocking is really not something that you're designed to do. But yeah, he has the Deflects, guard stance, but it is kind of balanced that you can't block for as long, because parrying still remains the same, and you have double dodges, and you can create a lot of distance really quickly by just hitting something as fast as a light attack, or even a heavy. It's really all about mixing up your ranged game with him, so blocking is really not something that he should be strong at as well. And now, this is why I haven't shown off the light chain just yet. Shinobi has a light attack combo much like Orochi, which is the other samurai assassin. And the thing with the light attack combo is this is basically a combined trait, as it has two traits in itself. As you can see, the other two traits are listed here as well. The first one is called Shadow Dancer and the other one is called Ghoul's Rage. And the thing with both of them is, you see how he has a light and a heavy light chain. Well, the light attack combo trait means that if you do a light attack, the second light is guaranteed, and if you did a heavy attack, the light attack after that heavy is guaranteed as well. But the very important thing where I see a lot of Shinobis fuck up on is that if you do a light attack, it is only guaranteed if you don't change your guard stances. But the thing is, this trait counts for a light attack from any direction for as long as it matches the attack stance of the previous attack. So I can get 2 tops, I can get 2 from either sides, and the same thing goes for the heavies, as I get the light after that as well, and also from side heavies of both types. This trait is really strong because it increases your damage per hit in the sense of per hit that you land. The thing is, his light attacks are extremely fast, as you can see right here, and for every hit you get a second light as well. So if they fail to block or parry the first light, you get a second one on top of that, punishing your opponent almost twice as hard for missing a parry. The first light does 14 and the second one does 8, giving you 22 damage. And the thing is, not only do you get more damage after every single light if you chain them like this, you also get more damage after every single heavy, and his top heavy and side heavies all deal the same damage, well, the first one of any chain that is, and you get all of them after a guard break. So this increases your guard break damage from 30 to 38 every single time, as well as after a parry into guard break you get 38 damage for your trouble. Now the next one explains the charge mechanic for his ranged heavy attacks. So it says that the attacks have 2 charging levels. This is the first one, this is the second one. Here as well is a second trait that explains the charge mechanics further, as there are limitations to charging your attacks. And obviously if you're out of stamina you cannot charge, and you can either dodge cancel the charging or you can cancel it by pressing feint. And the important thing to take away from this trait as well is, usually when the opponent was to block heavies, they wouldn't bounce off, but your ranged heavies will bounce off if they are blocked. When Shinobi was first revealed, I asked myself, how are they going to balance a character that has the biggest range in the game, making it completely impossible to catching him when you would parry one of his ranged attacks? The answer for that is quite simple. It is explained here that if one of his charged attacks gets parried, he will become unbalanced, and unbalanced in this game means that you will fall on the ground. So if my opponent is able to parry one of my charged heavies, I will become unbalanced and pulled up close to them, opening me up for a hit. This is not only true for the heavy attacks, this is also true for the grab, as you can see right here. If my opponent reverses my grab by guard breaking at the right time, they will knock me on the ground as well, leaving me open for a punish. Now, the next trait is Deflect, and I will have to show that off later. This trait again explains Super Sprint. Basically, it just consumes stamina, and by pressing your sprint key or button, you will switch between the 2 modes, as I've shown off before. I have also shown off Double Dodge already, basically giving you the ability to dodge again after a first dodge, and you can't cancel your back dodge by another dodge, as that gives you the dodge roll. And the last 2 traits are already his kick mix-up. Out of all of the traits in the game, this is probably the one that explains its move the worst. As it really just says surprise your enemy by launching a kick, which doesn't mean anything. Really, it doesn't. What is this? Okay, whatever. Well, This basically means that after a few moves you can do a kick, and I have already shown them all off, but in case you've forgotten, after double dodging you can do a kick, and then after hitting a ranged, you can get up close and do another kick as well. And then we also have tackle. You can exit the tackle by pressing feint. Now a move we haven't talked about is his zone attack, which looks something like this. 3 hits, which all seem to do 10 damage, so however the first 2 hits basically connect, and the third one is very easy for your opponent to parry. Well, it's not exactly easy, but your opponent can parry the third hit. And the bad thing about that is you can't cancel the third hit by pressing feint. Those were already all of his traits and all of his moves, so let's move on to the confirmed damage section of this tutorial. So, confirmed damage, I've already said that after a guard break you get any heavy attack from any direction as they all deal 30 damage. I can't give you the damage numbers for all of his moves just yet, as they are still being figured out. However, I will link a damage sheet in the description that I also used for the previous episodes. But besides that side note, Shinobi can get a lot of damage. For example, after the double dodge kick, this heavy chains. You can see that whenever you hit a light attack, your second light is guaranteed. So this chain is guaranteed almost every single time. Then Ghoul's Rage is guaranteed every single time you hit the heavy, which is after a guard break basically, or in the neutral, or after parrying a light attack you get this heavy as well. The Spider Slick Whip is never guaranteed, as the second heavy is way too slow even if my opponent is out of stamina. And the Sickle Rain itself is never guaranteed, as the second heavy is too slow to hit, and even if it were to hit, it wouldn't be able to pin because my opponent would still be getting up. As you can see, the second heavy wouldn't connect. I mean, obviously the heavy connects on a level 0 bot, but it doesn't on a level 1 bot. So the max damage you get after a out of stamina throw is heavy into light again. But why would you throw your opponent on the ground if you get a heavy light after a standing guard break as well? Now, what does his damage look like after throwing opponents into a wall? Well, it is again heavy into light. And this is a very common theme among Shinobi, as the max damage he seems to get is heavy light every single time. Either after a guard break or a throw into a wall, it is always heavy light. Or after throwing an opponent to the ground, it is also heavy light. No matter what direction you chose, for both of the attacks, they will all deal the same amount of damage. And I think that was done because Shinobi is already technical and hard enough as is. Basically, this makes Shinobi a little bit easier to play because you don't have to think about different punishes. No matter if I guard break my opponent and do the heavy directly, or if I throw them into the wall and do the heavy into light, it doesn't change the damage at all. And the same thing goes if I throw them on the ground. And this takes away some of the thinking work that you have to do, because if I was a different character, for example Raider, I would want to try to throw my opponent into the wall, as that guarantees my heavy. But with Shinobi, you don't have to worry about these things, as your punish is always the same. It is always heavy into light. I'm first going to show off the moves that I wasn't able to show off. The first thing that I wasn't able to show off were these 3 moves right here: the teleport kick, the teleport light attack, and the shadow strike. So, those were the teleport kick and the teleport light attack. And the thing you have to know is that the deflect itself deals bleed damage. The deflect basically makes you teleport through the opponent, and it does bleed damage every single time you do it. Now, the really strong thing is that after the kick, you can do a lot of your attacks. Now, the deflect is really good for dealing a lot of damage and repositioning, as this really teleports you through your opponent, and you deal bleed damage upon doing so. And the thing is, if you do the teleport kick, since it counts as a kick, you get all the mix-ups after a kick as well. So as you can see, that was grab into Sickle Rain. Now to the shadow strike, which is this very fast light after a parry, and as you can see, that does a little bit of bleed damage. You use the shadow strike against moves that are unreachable by your guard break after a parry or by your other options. Which sounds weird considering Shinobi has the best range in the game, but there are still attacks after which he can't guard break. And this is something that you have to know. His guard break range regularly is actually not all too great. So something that I have forgotten to show off as well is the tackle. I mean, I haven't forgotten to show this off, but I have forgotten to show off that you get 2 lights after it. Now, another downside to Shinobi is his health and stamina pool. As you can see, Shinobi does not even have 4 full bars, and that translates to 90 health. So 2 top heavies of Raider and I would be dead. But as you can see right here, he does incredible damage. That was off 1 deflect into kick, into grab, into sickle rain, and my opponent is almost dead as Raider. As you can see, that was approximately 130 damage, and all of that after 2 deflects. So this is everything that I can show you with Shinobi. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned something useful, and if you did, be sure to hit the like button on this video, subscribe if you want to see more videos similar to this one, and as always, thanks again so much for watching. Hope I'll see you next time. Take care.